you so much for your kind confirmation, sir. Once again, thank you so much for this opportunity. I am Dr. Pronema Bagchi, Assistant Professor of English from Faculty of Arts, Communication and Indic Studies in Sri Sri University, Cuttack, Odisha. So today we'll be discussing about the dynamics of public speaking. And I was very thrilled to take up this topic because I feel that this topic is incomplete without certain demonstrations, certain interactions. So again, at the outset, before we begin this journey of interaction, let me really request all my dear participants to please, please, please participate, because without your response, this, I think, interaction or talk would be incomplete. So here we go. And my first question to the participants is, why, according to you, is public speaking important? Like, for example, what really brings you here? And why do you think we have included this topic in this series of corporate readiness? So can someone quickly unmute and answer? Is unmuting facility given to our participants, sir?
Yes.
Great, great. So if we can have anyone answering this question, I also don't mind answers coming in the chat box, but I would really appreciate if someone unmutes and answers. So why, according to you, is public speaking important? So if no one, because we really have a lot of things to discuss and there's paucity of time. So I would, maybe it might sound a little enforcing, but I think I would do that. I would randomly take your names and I'll just request you to please unmute and at least say a few words, if not sentences. So I see Ria Mohanty ji or Pradeep ji. Either of you, if you can kindly unmute and say, because I feel we all are just together into the learning process. So I too will be learning a lot of things from your interpretations and your points. So please help all of us learn better. Anyone else who can just unmute? Anyone? I see Alok ji, Rudrani ji, Lakshmi Priya ji. I really don't mind even if our dear faculty members, if my colleagues participate. Yeah.
As we speak about public speaking,
Right.
the thing is, it take a lot of guts to speak in public. Like if you're holding a meeting in people of 10 people and you are standing in the center and you're trying to speak, sometimes what happens now, if there is a presentation or something, a student fumbles. And he fumbles that and he doesn't able to speak. He know what his mind is thinking. He knows what he is going through, but he is unable to express that feelings, the words, everything. So if we link public speaking with corporate readiness, because if we only take the word of corporate, in corporate, every day there will be meetings, there will be discussions, there will be everything. Every day, each and every day. So if you are unable to speak or express your feelings or your ideas, then it will be much difficult for a person to survive, or we can say sustain in that, not what I am saying, that world, that particular corporate world. So public speaking is very much important for everyone, not for students, everyone, because only thing as we are humans, we can speak or we can express ourselves by words.
Absolutely.
So that is
so
why
true. I am so happy, Alokji, for your wonderful points. And with this, I think you have really made it easy for me to dive deeper into the next question, which is not a question per se, but it is just a kind of an extended description for why public speaking becomes challenging. Of course, not just for corporate, but if you ask me personally, I think every day we are in the process of giving some kind of a public speech. So as professors, if we are in a classroom, we are of course getting involved in a kind of public speech. Even if you rightly said, when we are in a boardroom and when we are in a meeting, if you are asked to give your peace of mind, then even if it's a small group of, like, let's say 10 to 15 people, when you stand up and express your opinion, that also becomes a kind of public speech. So not necessary every time you have to be that political leader standing in front of thousands of people and addressing the mass. public speaking is a part and parcel of our daily life. In that case, I would now really like your quick inputs on whether it is an art, something like, let me also start typing if possible. So, do you think it is an art? Can you just give some points in the chat box for those of you who feel that, yes, it is an art? If not, is it a craft? Like when I say if it's an art, I would suggest that there is a lot of spontaneity, right? So it is kind of spontaneous, like you cannot always be 100% prepared. All right. Similarly, the way I have typed a few points, I want you all to give your points in the chat box. That sometimes it is spontaneous, it flows freely, the way things are happening now. Like you all are talking, and I am maybe replying to your comments. But not always it can be 100% spontaneous. So it has to be crafted, or it has to be sculpted. Now, what is the job of a sculptor? The sculptor tries to remove the extra edges or the not so important things, and has a lot of fine tuning and tries to give eye to the details, and then comes up with something which is very intact and has a nice outline, looks good, has a visual appeal. Now, this involves a lot of hard work and effort. It doesn't happen just like that. But then again, if you think that maybe it is a combo, so we don't think of combos in this aspect. We only think of combos in MACD, but that's not so, because it can be a combo affair if at all you think of public speaking as a combination of both art and craft. Like at times you are spontaneous because whatever is coming to your mind, it is flowing through your thought process and coming out in the form of words, sentences, and a discourse. When you think it is a craft, you're also trying to cull out those repetitions which are not necessary, and you're trying to project something which is very, very important to your listeners. So maybe you are trying to balance between the two, and therefore, from my perspective, it is not fully an art, it is not fully a craft, but it's actually a combination of both. So I have kept a few more points open, thinking that yes, it can be, discussed, but maybe due to paucity of time, I will not discuss this a lot, but I'll really appreciate if you all can unmute or use the chat box. So ma'am, thank you so much for writing that yes, it is both spontaneous as well as sculpted, and I appreciate that. I would like to really paste this for everyone to see. This is what Soma ma'am has written. And according to others, what do you think? Is it an art? If you say that yes, it's an art, can I have a quick point of justification that why do you think public speech, giving a public speech is an art? We really don't approach public speaking in this way, right? We don't see this as an art. But still, if we are talking about it, how? Why? It was nice to listen to Alokji. I would really appreciate if someone else can unmute and answer. Come on, I just want to know your points. I'm really eagerly waiting to listen to you all. I see Srujani ji, Sangram ji, Pradhan ji, Riya ji. Either of you, if you can just unmute and say that what is it to you? Anyone?
Ma'am, as you said,
Yeah.
it's an art.
Mhm.
Basically, when we speak, we
Mhm.
should know what to speak and how to speak.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much. You are really, really taking me towards my, if forthcoming slides. So, as you
Because
rightly said, what to speak? Yeah, please, Alokji, go ahead.
as it's an art, when we see an art, what we see, is it an abstract or is it a scenic painting, or what is it depicting? What is the thing depicting? So basically, speaking means what are we trying to say to the public? What we are trying, what we will say that it will be touching their heart or their sense,
Right.
and they are
Correct.
getting the point perfectly.
Correct. Thank you so much. And I hope my screen is again visible in the full PPT mode. Can you just quickly confirm, Alok?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, great. So now, how many of us identify with this image? Meena ji, what do you think this image tells you? If you can please unmute and tell, it'll be really, really helpful for me.
Okay, hi there.
Hi.
What I see?
So can you see an image in front?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sense.
Okay,
I
great.
see an African and I see an European. Yeah, European
Okay.
Somebody is
Awesome.
speaking.
What else? What
Somebody
else
is
do you see, ma'am? One is
Okay.
trying to speak, maybe one is trying to speak, and the other,
Other is trying to listen.
are you sure she's trying to listen to the one who's speaking?
No.
Hopefully they are
Not
trying
clear.
to communicate, but might be there is a language barrier. That's why they are unable to communicate between themselves.
Quite possible, or I don't know. I also relate to this image. See, the reason why I quickly selected this image is because now I think you all will be able to relate. How often does this happen that someone is speaking and we are busy doing something else?
Yeah.
How often does
Very
this
often.
happen?
Yeah,
Thank
very
you so
often.
much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for seconding this. Why? Because see, we all are a part of this process. One of the TED Talks has proven that the attention span of human beings has reduced than that of a goldfish. Imagine what we are up to thanks to our gadgets. So a lot of times what happens is we fail to be a good listener. So the benchmark, I think this is the start. To be a good speaker, you have to be a good listener. This is mandatory. Without this, we will not be able to go ahead. So that's why I wanted to start with this dictum. Like there will be a lot of do's and don'ts. There will be a lot of examples where you yourselves can YouTube good speakers, great speeches. So I don't want to go into that, but I really want to give you a few things which will help you come up with your own dynamics of public speaking so that you can come out as a unique public speaker, right? And therefore, please remember that again, good listening is an art and a habit that needs to be cultivated. So the next question that follows is how can we be a good listener? Probably we are not habituated of listening to things because of our attention span. So here there is a quick activity. This activity might be a little long, but let's see how it goes. Well, I also wanted to ask that is the video audible? Is the video audible?
No.
Okay, it's not.
No.
So just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'll try checking my screen. Now I think is the video audible
What is
now?
wrong, Tofu?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't want to
Yes,
go to
yes.
I'm
school
not going
today.
to give you
Jim and
any questions before the video. You will be bombarded with a lot of questions maybe after the video. You really don't know what activity will follow next. So all I want you to do is just listen and enjoy the video. But while enjoying, also try to grab the details as much as possible. All right, so we start now.
Jerry took all the tokens I had collected for the charity and submitted it as their own. Now they're going to win the appreciation sticker. Don't worry about it, Tofu. Sometimes it's okay to let go of things and just hold on to the joy they brought you. I don't know, Tia. Do you know a nice story to help me believe? Sure, I'll tell you a story.
Like Roblox, the sandbox allows you to build your own 3D games using its Game Maker application.
Once upon a time, a poor farmer was plowing his field when he hit something hard. It was a large metal pot.
What's this? A metal pot? I wonder if there is something more valuable underneath.
In the hope that he could find something more valuable, the farmer dug deeper and wider. Tired after hours of searching, the farmer decided to rest. He left his spade in the pot. And lay down under the tree. A while later, when he got up and went back to the pot, he was surprised.
How is this possible? The pot is full of hundreds of spades. I had left only one in it. Looks like this is a magical pot. Let me see what will happen if I put a mango in it.
Just as the farmer had thought, the one mango turned into hundreds of mangoes when he left it in the pot.
This is truly a magical pot. I will take it home and use it to tide over our troubles.
The farmer went home and hid the pot at a safe place. He then went to the market and sold the mangoes. He earned a handsome sum for them. On the way back, he brought some grains. He went home and put each one of them in the pot one by one. Enough of grains.
Continue to explore how the magic pot is preparing so many things.
And in some years, he turned around his family's fortune. Though they had been secretive and very careful about their magic pot, people started noticing how they had become rich. And soon their secret was out. It even reached the king's ears.
Such a powerful magical pot should be a part of the king's treasury. The farmer has no right to keep it. Only I have the right to own that pot.
The king ordered the soldier to bring the pot to the palace. The soldier stormed into the farmer's home.
Let me see what is inside the pot that makes it so magical. Once I find what it is, I will become 100 times more powerful.
Okay, I am pausing at a very crucial moment, but a very quick question before I ask you something different. What was the first thing that the farmer put inside the magical pot?
Spades.
Excellent.
Spade. One spade.
Thank you so much, Meena ma'am. Second, someone else to answer? If someone else has followed what has happened till now in the video. What was the second thing? Meena ma'am, I'll request you to kindly hold for a minute. Let's see if someone else has followed. What was the second thing? Okay, I've got one in the chat. Oh, thank you, Priyadarshini ji. Mango was the next thing which really doubled, and this is how it goes on with the magical pot. So now we have followed the sequence and the plot. I really want you to predict what will happen next, because I'm assuming that none of us have watched this video. Meena ji, have you watched this video by any chance?
No, never.
The next prediction, ma'am, can I?
Soma ji, yeah, have you watched this video by any chance?
Yes, I have.
Then
So
unfortunately you won't be able to answer. Because you know what's going to happen next. Meena ji, we'll go with Meena ji. So ma'am, can you please predict what can happen next?
Maybe he would put the crown or something. I don't know.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, Patanaik sir is really keen. So I'll really ask sir.
Weapon. He'll put more weapon into that.
Excellent. And probably it will double and it will help him increase his empire and arms and ammunition. Yes. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. I am so happy you participated.
Or he would put his head inside it and maybe he would be Ravana or something.
Oh, excellent. This is a very nice prediction. Luckily, Priyadarshini ji has watched this. So she has, I think, written it aptly in the chat. But now I'll ask Soma ma'am to tell what happens next so that we can enjoy how these amazing predictions came ahead.
A very nice thing happened next. The next thing is that as the king was very much eager to know what is there in the pot, he put his head deep into the pot. And when he take out his head, he find it out that he had converted.
Peered over the pot and looked into it. As he did, he lost his balance and fell into the pot. As he fell, he hit his head on the edge of the pot and became unconscious. When he woke up, he saw that there were hundreds of kings like him.
Okay.
Soma ma'am?
Hundreds of kings are there, and at that moment, he was thinking that I am the real one. But it was very difficult to predict who is real. Who is the real king? So then what happened next? Can any of our students can predict what would be the next? How the prediction can be made? Who is the real king?
Chop the head.
Sorry, who's this?
Chop the head.
Okay, Meena ma'am. Okay, thank you so much.
They all fought each other to get to the throne.
Participation that's happening. So you're going to see what for yourself
and died.
Happens next. And
soon the news reached the farmer and his wife.
Should we get the pot back now? The king was foolish and his curiosity killed him. But it is not safe to keep the pot anymore. We have enough money and riches to take care of us and our many next generations. Let us leave the pot within the king's treasury.
Oh, thank you, Tia. That was indeed an inspiring story. And I feel much better now letting go of those tokens.
So very interestingly, this, has been culminated to something important, to not just have fun, but also give a moral. So due to paucity of time, unfortunately, we'll not be able to maybe take a few more questions. But another anticipated question is, what can be the moral of the story and how can you connect with this story? Do you have something similar in your life? So you might wonder that why are we doing this? Because see, my dear participants, what happens most often is we keep thinking, how are we going to develop our listening skills? So listening is not just one particular activity that happens just like that. It is also a cluster of skills. So listening is combined with comprehension along with the visual inputs that you get, then your mind processes something. So, to also entertain yourselves, you can have bundle of such videos and put yourself into practice. So you just watch something and try to come up with alternative endings or try to come up with a model of the story and consider that to be a public speaking activity for yourself. You imagine that you are talking to a group of 100 students in front of you and explain what the model of the story is. That can be one good practice for not just improving public speaking, but also to be a really, really good listener, because it involves a lot of sub skills which are a part and parcel of listening. And when it comes to listening, what follows next is SRW. So LSRW is the set. Let me put it in the chat for everybody's reference. LSRW. 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 Yeah. LSRW stands for listening, speaking, reading, writing. You can't consider these skill sets in isolation. They work hand in hand. And when they work hand in hand in a coordinated fashion, it flows. It flows through the speech. Now, when we say the dynamics of public speaking, there can be n number of do's and don'ts and tips. But I really want to concentrate on the 7 C's of communication, which form the crux of any good public speech. For example, when we want to talk to even a smaller group of people in a formal setting, I'm not talking about informal settings, right? So when we want to speak to a group of people in a formal setting, right, we have been given a topic. Let's say you don't have to select a topic, you have been given a topic. How do you first go about it? Can you tell me the first step that you undertake? Because I remember Patnaik sir saying so nicely that we don't teach just the art of management, we also teach the science of management, which is something very unique, which has a very methodical approach, if I'm not wrong. Similarly, this can also have a methodical approach. Remember, in the initial part of the discussion, we said public speaking is both an art as well as a craft. So when you're crafting things, what is the first thing that you would like to do? How would you like to go ahead when you are to speak on a topic? Yes, anyone? Anyone? I would also accept some replies in the chat. Anything that you would like to do first when you have been given a topic and you want to answer and address on that topic. What is the first thing that...
First thing, you have to collect the data and information about the topic. That is the
Thank
first.
you so much. Thank you so much, sir. That really is a very interesting point, that we have to collect data. And why do we have to collect data? So in this, I would like to start with the first C called clear, and that means clarity. Clarity is must. This is the first thing that we need to remember. Now, how do you incorporate clarity in public speech? Very simple. Begin with the ending. Begin with the ending. Am I making a mistake? No, not really. What I mean is, try to see how would you like to conclude and what will be your takeaways. Only when you can come up with the takeaways of your speech, automatically others will be able to take those pointers when you are delivering. So start with the ending, start with the conclusion. See what is the objective of your talk. Always concentrate on that, because otherwise then it will be haywire. There is always so much that we would like to speak, right? But when we have to give a structured talk, it's better to start with the objective. What is the purpose behind this? Which will automatically give you clarity of thought that will reflect in your speech. Next C is all about correctness. Now, after you have had an objective in your mind that this is what you want to say, come up with catchy pointers that really suit your title of the talk. If you have a title, very good. If you do not have a title, then work on the title. Okay, that is usually a better way. So try to have an objective on the general idea or the topic, and then come up with a catchy title which automatically involves the correction done at the back of your mind. So for a public speaker, no doubt, at the surface level, you need to speak clearly, you need to deliver correct data. As Patnaik sir rightly said, Only when you do some research, you'll be able to give some statistics in a correct way. But apart from that, you also need to have your phrases right. You need to have your chunking done correctly, that this will be the beginning or the introduction, and this will be the conclusion. So for the introduction and the conclusion, another approach is always go from general to particular and particular to general. Talk about something that happens in general and then come to the core matter. After you have come to the core, then try to come up with generalizations or conclude that if this happens in one part of the country, what can be the scenario in the whole part of or different parts of the country, or what can be the scenario in the whole world. So this is how you have some kind of funnel in and funnel out, which gives you contextual correctness in the public speech. Then comes complete. So the third C is all about completing this whole structure. I have spoken about the beginning and the ending, but what about the middle? Okay, so when you start thinking about the timeline, this is something which we all go through. So, I mean, come on, there's no harm in saying that we have butterflies in our stomach. You have to say so many things in just 10 minutes. Like today also, I probably would have to cover so many things and I have like 45 minutes and I feel that, okay, 45 minutes also may not be sufficient. So there's always that anxiety in us that we have to say so many things and in less time. So what comes in the middle, what comes as the main body of your talk is really important. Here, a simple suggestion would be, when you have butterflies in your stomach, let the butterflies, please listen to this carefully, let the butterflies fly in formation. So if they are going haywire, try to catch them and put them in a formation. Just when you choreograph any dance, you have in a group dance some formations, right? They move in a circle or they stand in an angle. Similarly, try to have some formations in your data analysis. Okay, do not just take something from A and something from P and something from Z. It will lose that kind of connect with the audience, because with this we come with the fourth C that is very, very important, that talks about concreteness. Yes, to make your speech concrete and stand out, give real life examples. Share anecdotes that will allow your audience to immediately connect with your story. Today, if you YouTube some of the best public speeches, you will definitely find Steve Jobs' 2005 Stanford commencement address as one of the best speeches. I'll not, of course, waste time in making you all run through the video. You please watch it for yourselves. He begins with, "Let me share 3 stories from my life." This is how he begins. And when you start with this, and most of the TED Talk speakers also do, I don't know how much do you follow TED Talk, but TED Talks again really, really give you one of the best samples to frame your speech in a limited time frame. So to make anything concrete, share anecdotes, just the way we saw this video, that you have 2 people talking and the boy is really sad about something. He asks, "Why does this happen?" And the girl says, "Okay, let me explain. But before I explain, let me tell you a story." So she didn't have to put in much efforts. Through the story, the boy derived so much of happiness and satisfaction that whatever he did was really, really a very kind and generous action. So to make things concretized, you have to put in the personal element so that the people in front can connect. Finally, for the concrete element, I would like to say that you have to do all these things in a very creative manner. So did you see, of course, people who had watched the video knew what's going to happen, but people who had not watched the video, did you realize how innovatively they were coming up with some interesting conclusions, right? So, they were thinking something so cool that, okay, probably there'll be some, daggers multiplying because of the magical pot, or maybe the heads multiplying because the head will go inside the pot. This was something so creative. And we are able to do this only when we test our own creative mind. So use some imagination and try to make a very good combination between concrete and creative stuff. Then let us not get really flown with all these things, because we also have to be concise. Concise means being precise, and being coherent means being logical. So of course we need to précis our talk. We can't just go on and on and on. But one more catch here is we cannot précis our talk without, considering the comprehension. So no compromise on clarity, but still you have to ensure that you are being very concise, you're not being repetitive, and you're trying to put in details in a very bulleted fashion, in a point-wise fashion, so that people can not just connect, but they can also recollect, okay? And coherent is a logical flow of communication. So you can't do hopscotching of ideas. Sometimes that happens and people do enjoy. But usually when you're doing a public speech in a limited time frame, it's better that you match A with B and C with B, and A, B, C, D, E all flow in one after the other, so that people understand that, oh, this is what it is. So they automatically come with their own derivations and you can elicit correct responses, right? And for this, how do you do it? You anticipate questions that can come from your audience. You yourself become the audience, put yourself in the audience perspective and ask questions to yourself. So I'm going to talk about the, let's say, tradition and culture of India. What all questions can my audience ask? That how was it in the 10th century? Am I ready with it? So then you suddenly say, well, I'm not sure. Then you try to limit your talk. You say, I'm not going to talk about the 10th and the 12th century. I'm only going to concentrate on, let's say, from 15th to 20th century, the last 5 centuries. See, this is how you can become more coherent. And last but not the least, the final C is courteous. No doubt, howsoever good you are with your data, as rightly said with someone, I think one of our participants mentioned this, that what to say is fine, but how to say is more important. So here, the way you project your points, there has to be a lot of consideration to the words and phrases that you use. So if you want someone to repeat their question, instead of repeat, it will be, could you please repeat? If you want someone to do something for yourself, it's always better to add that, could you please, or would you mind doing this for me? Like the way we want our audiences to participate, it is really, really nice to help them. So I see a beautiful drawing coming on my screen, and I can also see Pradyuman ji doing this. So I think I would applaud for his creativity. I'm happy that you are also probably trying to explore the tools that are available with you. So, well, I think after these C's, what really matters is the way you speak, as rightly said. But what really becomes the matter of the way you speak? Words. Through words, we communicate. Our ideas get converted into words and come in front of the people. So vocabulary plays a great, great role. Now, what do you do to improve your vocabulary? Okay, so I will now, just to have a quick demo, request Meena ji and Soma ji to, if possible, have a game of 30 seconds with me. Soma ji, you are there, I hope?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
So, excellent. Now, the plan is to have adjective Antakshari. Just the way we play Antakshari, we will play an adjective Antakshari. I give an adjective and the last letter of the word becomes the first letter of your adjective, right? For example, I say strong, then strong. From G, I say gorgeous. From S, I say again some other adjective, okay? So my adjective to you is magical, because the magical pot story is something that we just watched. So Meena ji, a word with L, an adjective
Loving.
with L.
Loving.
Loving. Soma ma'am, G.
Gesture.
Sorry?
Gesture. Gesture.
Gesture is a noun.
Gesture.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I wanted adjective, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Good. So, okay, I will say dainty. Okay, Meena ma'am, why?
Okay. What's it? Yearly? will be an adjective.
Yearly? It is a yearly affair? Okay.
Yeah.
Soma ma'am, again, why?
Why?
Sorry?
Can
Someone else?
I say young?
Yes, of course. Young. Thank you. And we'll stop because yesterday itself we celebrated the National Youth Day, right? So for all the young minds, I think this game is a hit when you try to extend the adjective Antakshari because it really tests how good people are with their vocabulary. So what you say will matter. The words that you say will matter. Instead of always saying, "Oh, it was a great idea," we can sometimes say, "Awesome." We can sometimes say it was an out of the box idea. So you need to improve your vocabulary. Playing such games will help you improve your vocabulary. But then coming to the how part, a quick demonstration from my side. I have a green shirt. 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 What did you understand from these 5 examples which had the same word but something else? Okay, Soma ma'am and Meena ma'am have of course played with me. So I will probably go back to the person who was really answering. Alok ji. Alok ji, you were the one to come up with this point that how you say matters. So the demonstration that I just did, Alok ji, are you there?
Yes, absolutely. I'm here.
Great, great, great. So Alok ji, the demonstration that I just did, can you tell me the interpretation? Like, what does it mean when I say I have a green shirt? And what does it mean when I say I have a green shirt?
When you say I have a green shirt, means I have many color of shirts, but green is one of them.
Okay, interesting. And when I say I have a green shirt.
It means I have a green shirt, but thing is, there is green shirt. I have a green shirt. I have a green shirt, but there are other colors as well. There are other colors as there as well.
Meena ma'am.
Yeah, I have means, of course, I already have.
I already have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And of course, you can go on interpreting. So when I say I have a green shirt, it means no one else. When I say I have, so please don't ask me. When I say I have a green shirt, which means only one, maybe
One.
one more, you can give me one more. Or when I say so Alok ji said it rightly. When I say I have a green shirt, which means I have a green shirt, not something else, not other colors. And when I say I have a green
So
shirt.
the question is, does Alok have a green shirt? Or somebody please gift him.
I guess I have many.
Oh,
you have many green shirts.
Very good, very good. So
obviously,
probably,
I haven't counted,
interesting.
but I guess I have.
So maybe Alok ji can say, I have a green shirt. And the implication could be not a green pant.
Right.
Yeah. So I think you can go on and on and on with these experiments, and you can see how it all changes with your voice, with your tone, with your pitch, the way you pause, the way you express, the kind of curiosity that you show through your voice modulation, the body language that you depict, and the setting that involves you and you who involves in the setting that is projected, the eye contact that you come up with to have some kind of connection with your audience, then the multitasking that you do as a public speaker, and most importantly, the presence of mind that you use when something goes wrong. All these form again a combo pack to come up with a lot of confidence in front of your audience. It could be 5, it could be 500. The number is never important, class, or the number is never important, my dear colleagues. Please remember this. What really matters is how are we expressing, what are we doing with our voice tone and pitch. Are we really going too fast? Is it time for us to pause and let our audiences think? Are we using some innovative out of the box expressions to incite the curiosity in our listeners? What kind of body language are we using? I see some of our students, I can demonstrate, I don't mind. So while speaking, they keep fidgeting like this, or they keep moving like this, or maybe due to anxiety, they're holding something and they keep banging. So all these body language examples are not welcome. If you want to be a good public speaker, these are the aspects of nonverbal communication that you have to concentrate on to really work on the dynamics of your whole speech. The setting is very important. IT plays a major role, especially I personally had some issues today connecting. So I had to really do something to come up with a better facility that helps me present today. Therefore, multitasking. So you are conducting an activity, you're talking to people, and between all these things, you're trying to have eye contact with some of your audience members who are speaking to you. So all this comes up, of course, with practice. Practice makes a man perfect, no doubt, but you also have to have presence of mind. So if something goes wrong, how are you really going to change that and let it be a positive point for you? In toto, all these make you a confident public speaker. So what is the key to success? POEM. Well, how do you think poem is the key to success? Because I'm an English teacher, that's why I'm fond of poems. Of course, I'm fond of poetry, no doubt about that. But here I've used POEM as an acronym where P stands for plan, O stands for organize, E stands for enact, and finally, M stands for monitor. This is something very important I had heard in one of the public speeches that I had attended, which very rightly said that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So never, never go unprepared, howsoever confident you are with your points. Plan your speech, organize your thoughts, try to enact on this beginning, middle, and end to have a compact, systematic understanding of what you want to say and what you want your learners or audience to take from you, and monitor the whole process. Will it end in time? Will it be too much? Do you have an alternative if the IT fails? Etc., etc. So we are coming towards the closure of this speech that tell me and I forget. Nowadays, definitely. We are in a world where if you tell me something, I will definitely forget. Teach me and I remember. So if you teach me, I will remember, but I'm not sure whether I'll remember it and retain it longer. But involve me and I learn. So it's very important for a good public speaker to involve their audience into their speech by coming up with different activities so that they really understand what is happening. And therefore, you have to be a learner all your life so that you can keep learning new techniques and implement that in your speech. Finally, to conclude, I would like to say that you learn at your best when you have something you care about and can get pleasure in being engaged in. If you really care to be a good public speaker, you will keep on learning new things and try to have your dynamics of public speaking in a way that is most unique and something that defines you. So please work on all these things. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg and we can go on and on and on. But to frame these things in the time allotted to me, I try to maybe have something from my side so that we all could discuss and enhance our understanding in the process. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much to our dear participants for participating so well. Without your support, I wouldn't have been able to complete this.